I'll give everybody a minute. I'm going to do my chapstick like I always do. This seems to be a signature thing for me. Kind of a chapstick addict, so, you know, is what it is. But we'll give everybody a couple secs and see if we can't get some viewers on. My goodness. Hello, Stitchy friends. It has been a day. I say that a lot these days, but I've been so looking forward to this all day. I have lots to show you. My camera is frozen up now. Hi, Debbie. Let me see if I can do that. Oh, I lost it. Let's see if I can. See if I can do it now. Of course I get on here and things aren't working the way they're supposed to. Let's see. Let's see if I can get out of here. Hi, Mom. Just having a little bit of camera thing going. There we go. Let's see if it stays. Oh, the camera's bouncing around now. Let's see if it stays. Oh, wrong way. I'm so directionally challenged on here. Well, I'm doing a stitch with me. I am working on my Cardinal Point sampler, which I forgot the cover page upstairs. I gotta tell you, I was waiting. Had to run an errand and get gas in the Jeep. So we were out, got home, did dinner, sat down in front of the TV, and I look up at the clock at 6:52, and I'm like, oh crap, I gotta do a stitch with me thing. Just running late. Seems to be my thing right now. I did get some haul today that I kind of wanted to show, and we'll see if it's going to work underneath the camera, if I need to remove my stitching. Let's see how this is going to work. Yep, let's remove the stitching. You're probably going to see my keyboard now. See the edge of my keyboard? Alright. So, I received this in the mail today. Can you guys see that? That is the Truckin' Along series by Priscilla Plain from Stitching with the Housewives. I signed up for the auto ship at Fat Quarter Shop, and I got it today. I think it's cute. It may end up going into my Mania starts. I only have a few more slots left, so, and I think I need to really put some Halloween starts in there just because I ordered them and have them. So I have this one. Oh, my camera's stuck again. It's going to keep getting stuck. What is up with this? Well, this is going to be annoying if I have to keep restarting this. But let's see if it might be. Our internet here has been kind of, there we go, has been kind of sketchy today, so we'll have to see how this works out. But this is Bittersweet and Broomsticks. This is by Brenda Gervais by Wood Thy Needle and Thread, and I'm going to turn it this way, and there you go. This is kitted. It's all kitted. I also have this guy, Focus Pocus Halloween, by Heart and Hand. Let me get my keyboard out of the way here. By Heart and Hand. Very cute. And I told you guys I'm not really a Halloween stitcher, but I thought maybe I should. I don't know why maybe I should, but maybe I should. Yeah, trucking along is nice, isn't it, Mom? I got this one. This is Halloween Sampler by Cottage Garden. And it's just the words. Sorry about the glare. Right there. So I'm going to pull some thread out for this one, I think. I think this might be in the short stack for going into Mania. I also got this one. Let's see if I can stick these things. This is Hands On Design and Priscilla Blaine. This is Jack-O-Lantern Farm. See, look at that. And the camera just froze up again. We may not be using that camera. I'll see if I can get it going when we stitch along again. But this is Jack-O-Lantern Farm. Let me see if I can switch you. There we go. You guys have to let me know if that switch went okay. And then we'll see if we can turn the upper camera back on when we stitch. But I got Jack-O-Lantern Farm. This is Hands On Design and Priscilla Blaine. Got that. I got a bunch of floss today. I actually got 2 orders that I had placed. I got them today. I got some more fabric. This is 32 count Valor Belfast linen. It's looking darker in this lighting than it is. It's kind of like a light sagey green, and it's mottled. And then I got 32 count charcoal Belfast linen. I've not completely converted over to linen. I do like it though, and I'll show you what I'm using to help me stitch on linen now. I still stitch in hand most of the time. However, on linen, I saw something that I liked, and I'll show you in a second. And then what did I get? I ended up getting my first punch needle embroidery pattern from Teresa Kogut. We'll see. And my punch needle came today. This came yesterday. I might have to put this in my Mania starts, except the punch needle came with a practice punch needle pattern. So I am going to see about doing that first and see how it goes. I don't know if this will be a Mania thing because I don't want to feel rushed. I kind of want to just take my time with it. Hi Lisa. I love fall stitching. I'm not a huge I'm not a huge Halloween fan in general, but I do like the stitches, so we're just going to go ahead. The purchase that I made was this. Hi Gail. I got this lap stand scroll frame, and I purchased it from Amazon, quite frankly, because I knew I was going to get it. Because shipping and everything else, if everybody noticed, is kind of a little nuts. So let me try to get this camera going again. Let me see, bear with me, and then we'll get to stitching like my Stitch With Me. See if I can switch this over. Let me see. There we go. Gail, I found it on Amazon, like I said. I know at the time there was only a couple of left, and I went ahead and got it. And you guys will have to excuse, this is Kay's Creation lap stand. My hands, I have not had a manicure. I'm not doing much to protect my hands at the moment. So there you go. But I'm just going to start stitching and talking. So I live in upstate New York. Hold on, I got to lift this a little bit. And I don't know if any of you have watched the news, but we just went to the stay-at-home order until May 15th. So I don't live in New York City, I live in upstate. New York State's a bigger issue. However, upstate is having its share of issues at the moment as well. I should have picked something easier to stitch on. I did bring something easier to stitch on down here, just in case this became too much for me to do and talk at the same time. Anyway, I had to sigh when I heard that today. It wasn't really what I wanted to hear, however, I understand it from infectious disease properties. But it is what it is, you know, I can't, it is what it is. And then I was watching Trump and his team, President Trump, I should say, respect. President Trump and his team talk about the phases of reopening, and some states would be able to reopen sooner than others. Oh, look at that. Of course that happens while I'm on camera. Anyway, New York is not going to be one of the first ones to reopen, I can tell you that. Not based on what's going on in the city. My camera froze, huh, Mom? I don't know why it's freezing. We've done this before, and it's not been an issue, but all of a sudden tonight it's issue. But I have to say that all day today, I was working from home today, and hold on. There we go. Are we back? Yes. Good. Gail, that's probably... We're getting snow here too. So, anyway, I was saying based on what's happening in New York City, New York's not going to be one of the first states to reopen, that's for certain. In our state, our cases in upstate are climbing at a pretty regular rate. I wouldn't say alarming necessarily, but regular. I think if you guys are okay with it, I'll just keep refreshing the camera. You guys just might have to tell me when it's frozen, because obviously I'm not paying attention, because my mom let me know. I'm just adjusting a little so I can get my arms underneath her. I really do love this frame. It makes it easier for me. And the two-hand stitching, actually, when I'm sitting upstairs, I get on a roll and it's fast. It's fast. Lisa, I would agree. I actually started to say I was working from home today, managing my team from home, as I do 3 to 4 days a week right now, and I kept getting kicked off of my video froze again. I keep getting kicked off. Hold on, I'll restart it. Kicked off of the internet. So I'm wondering if some of the camera issue tonight has to do with that. We'll see. The stitching on this, when I do get the camera restarted, don't be too critical on the stitching. This is one of my first ventures back into linen, since I got very frustrated with it about a year ago and gave up on it. So it is what it is, you know. Let's see if this helps. Let's do it that way. There's two options on this. Let's see. There we go. It just seems to be getting caught up somewhere. And I wonder if our internet is really... Gail, it's funny, you know, hint for Mother's Day. Yep, that's probably the next time we're all going to get together. When is that? That's in May sometime, right? I just tend to buy things when I want them. If I have the money, I go ahead and do it, and you only live once, right? And right now, I'm pretty much missing the heck out of my grandbabies that are here locally. I haven't seen them other than on video chat in about a month. So that's getting kind of a little nuts. I have to go into the office tomorrow. I'm doing the scheduling for our weekend nurses tomorrow night, so I'll work late tomorrow. I will not get a ton of stitching in. But oh, Lisa, that's so nice. My friendly voice. I don't know that I ever have many people say that about me. Really. I get a lot of comments on that people like my videos. And I always am surprised because honestly, I'm probably on here because I have stuff to talk about and nobody else to listen to me. Yep, there you go, Gail. That's a good way to do it. I kind of bought this, and my husband and I both have access to our Amazon account, so he knew that I got it before I told him. But I don't know, he doesn't really care, to be quite honest. I'm going to do one more stitch and then I got to weave this in and turn it over, so you guys will have to suffer through that for a little bit. It seems like we might have, well, I shouldn't say anything. I kind of like doing this stitch with me stuff because it forces me to sit down and stitch, although I will say that on this frame last night, I stitched for probably a good half hour. I was just having fun playing with my new frame. So sorry, I gotta jockey this around a little bit so I can weave this thread in and start a new one. I'll show you how I start my threads. I actually picked this up from watching another YouTuber working on a frame. Okay, let me get this back up. Have my little bee needle miner over there. And I was saying that my husband doesn't really care. I mean, as long as we're not struggling. He and I are both currently working, so we don't have an issue with loss of income that some people are suffering through right now. We don't have that issue. We're both working. I will always be working. I'm a nurse. So if I'm not in my current job as a nurse manager, I would be at a hospital helping to treat patients. So that's not a thing. But I can't imagine for those that had a job and now don't right now, what they would be going through. So I can still buy all my things and nice. I had, with everything with COVID stuff, shipping seems to be taking a bit. So I had ordered a bunch of stuff, I think, last week, trying to get ready for Mania. So I have almost my whole Mania set. I have 10 whips. I have, so far, I think 17 cross stitches kitted up. And my whips and my cross stitch kits have to add up to 31. So when I kit up, and I might have one more finish, the 4 seasons. You guys, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen the 4 seasons. Alright, so I do the loop method. See how I have a single strand of thread folded in half. I'm going to go down through the lower left, and the loop's going to stay up here. I am going to, yeah, mine took a while too, Gail, just be patient. Come up. I'm going to grab this loop, and then I'm going to hold this over here, and I'm going to go back down in the upper right, and that's going to pull that loop down. Yeah, Lisa, I did this last year too. Last year was my first Mania. Um, and I did this last year. You can ask Deb because I think I got a little stressed out at one point. But I was trying to gain traffic on the YouTube channel. And I thought, well, this is a kind of a good gimmick, is what I actually thought. I had just gotten back into cross stitching again after a very long, probably close to 20-year hiatus. And back when I did cross stitch, it wasn't the thing that it is now. Do you know what I mean? Like, we didn't have patterns like this. Mom can probably say that too if she pipes in here. Good, the crown's done. So anyway, I did 31 starts. And then I started panicking after Mania because I wasn't making a lot of progress on them. Oops, sorry. And I wanted to have some done for the quilt festival that I was going to in September, which was my first time going to that festival as well. There were a lot of firsts for me last year. And I went there basically for my quilting, but I thought, wow, it'd be nice to have some cross stitches there, you know, for people to look at. Well, then Mom took some of my Mania starts, and she took them back up north with her, and she worked on them up there. She took some of my patterns and worked on them up there. And she got some of them done. I keep knocking this camera. She got some of them done. I got some of them done. My sister took one or two. I don't remember. Oh, nice gal. Anyway, so I was in a little bit of a panic. Well, I think actually at 31 starts, I only have 10 left. And 3 of those 10 are actually long-term projects that are several parts long and will take me a long time to stitch them. So they will be going for quite a while, but I'm counting them into the 31. This is one of the 10 whips, but the fact that I only have 10, I was kind of surprised. Really, I've been fighting off the urge to start all the things because I got a lot of cool patterns that I'm starting in Mania that I actually can't wait to stitch. And I'm still sewing a ton too. So, you know, I think you need to do what makes you happy. And I've also started knitting, which I forgot to bring down there. Yep, you did, Mom. Let me figure out what color I'm going to work on next. Oh, let's do... Oh, just knocked the camera again. See, that's going to be a thing. That's going to be a thing. But when I kit up projects, I don't put whole skeins of floss in there generally, unless it's something that's, I don't know. I tend to do these cards and then put a little bit of floss in there because I can always, I might need that color for another project. That's the first thing. The second thing is that I don't need a lot to get it started in Mania. I've got one day to stitch on that project, and honestly, because I work, I'll stitch on it in the morning probably to get it started. I may or may not be able to stitch on it at lunchtime, and I may or may not stitch on the evening. I probably will sew in the evening sometimes. So it depends on what the project is, how much floss I actually have in there to start it. You know, I can always order more floss if I run out. And then I would just table that whip until the floss comes in and work on something else. But I've already had 10 finishes this year. 10 cross-stitch finishes. I have not fully finished them. I was talking to Deb about that a little bit today. I really do need to make time to do that and get these cross stitches up and on my walls because that's why I did it. Gail, I did not shop for floss cards, so this is what I did. I wrap my fat quarter fabric for my quilting stuff on comic boards. And I took comic board and I cut it up into squares, and that's what I use for my floss cards. Kind of cheap like that. Okay, I need to figure out, I need to count for a second. I'll go this way, that way I don't have to count. But I already have 10 finishes, and I have several, there are a couple big projects in my Mania starts. I'm kind of getting into the samplers. By All Silk. I have not yet stitched with silk, and I have to tell you, there's a reason that I have not stitched with silk. It's because of the price tag. Like this one, I do like stitching with fancy floss a lot. But if you're going to start 31 starts, you're not going to be able to do it all in fancy floss unless you have a small fortune sitting next to you. So I converted a lot of it to DMC. I'll stitch fancy floss where I think stitching fancy floss is going to give me an effect that I want. But like I was kitting up Mary Mary Needleworker by Lindy Stitches today on my lunch. And her dress is done. Hold on, I got to tickle my throat. I should have brought it down so you could see the pattern, but I have shown it. Her dress is done in Weeks Dye Works Seafoam. And I decided that because the dress was a big patch of color, I really wanted to do it in Weeks Dye Works Seafoam. It calls for 5 skeins, and I was like, well, that's kind of worth it for that big swatch of color. So I was going to go ahead and order. Can't find it in stock anywhere. So, a couple things. I may either use DMC. I did throw a DMC skein in there. If you followed me along on Instagram, I had quite the DMC haul this week that I'm still trying to wrangle. Somebody was getting rid of all their cross-stitch stuff. So that's where I got that. And so I have a couple options. If I get to Mary Mary Needleworker, in my Mania, and I cannot find any Weeks Dye Works Seafoam by then, I'm gonna either start not on the dress, or I'm going to just commit to doing it in DMC. You know? I'd rather do it in the Weeks Dye Works, but it's not going to be, it's an awesome pattern, so I don't care. I mean, at the end, it's going to be framed and probably put up in one of my craft areas. And I say one of my craft areas because now I have 2. I moved some of my stuff up into one of my spare bedrooms upstairs because working from home, I take a lunch, obviously probably more than I did before, and I can stitch and sew. So I moved one of my old sewing machines into that room. I moved an ironing station into that room. I am working on the Unity Mystery Quilt in that room. What else do I have on the shelves in the closet? I have put a lot of my floss. My Mania kits are up there. And I think what I might do Debbie, I'm not taking your floss. Not taking your floss. Can you guys see those stitches? It's not, doesn't look very focused on my end. Can you see it where you are? What is that color? What color is that? Oh, there it is. I have trouble counting on the linen, so this is what you're going to see me do. You're going to see my trick right here. Ready? Because it's not as simple as on Aida for me, and I'm sure it's not for some of you. So I have to switch colors, and then the color I'm working on now comes back. Debbie, I have like 600 skeins of DMC. If you're in need, you can come take a look at them. But no, I'm not taking all your floss. And you can't make me, so there. What was I saying? Anyway, so we'll have to, I think this weekend on my floss tube, I'm going to do a kit parade, what I have kitted for Mania already. I only have a few slots left unless I finish something. I'm going to pull this thread back up here. Yeah, right there. And I'm going to pull my needle off. Oops, just knocked the camera. Stop. And I'm going to thread it with this other color. Don't you guys liking this in-depth view of my my stitchy madness? Okay. So where am I starting? Hold on, gotta figure this out. Can't talk and do that at the same time. See, I should have picked something simpler. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do Saturday, is I'm going to go through on my, so my Saturday YouTube will be a kit parade because we're approaching Mania. I did not do that last year. I wasn't really into it this much last year. I was doing, honestly, I really did it as a gimmick to get attention for the quilting business. And I do have some quilting business, so it worked. But I really got into the stitching. Now you'll see now, because you're watching me, that I stitch in a number. I use different things to stitch with depending on the project. As far as hoops, frames, things like that. I also use different methods of doing the stitches based on what serves me as far as getting my thread where I need it to be. So here you see I just did the one leg of my X's because I need to come all the way back up and go over in here. Yes, I am, Lisa. That I'm putting that in my Mania. I'm refusing to start anything until Mania, and I gotta tell you, I have lots of charts that I would love to start. There's one, that truck is one of them. The other one is, I got a chart called Huckleberry Farm from the Blue Flower, and it was one of their Nashville releases. And I have been dying to start that. And I think I'm going to have to even wait to start that till somewhere like midway into Mania. Because I think once I start that one, because I love it so much, I'm just going to want to stitch on that and that alone. But yes, and I need to make more project bags. I have some things in Ziplocs, which is fine. And honestly, if they stay in Ziplocs, that's fine too. But I would prefer to have project bags. And I have to tell you, last year going into Mania, everything was in Ziploc bags. So gosh, what a difference a year makes, huh? I thought if I do floss tube once every couple of weeks, that'll be enough. And now I'm on here. Well, during the quarantine thing, I've been on more just because I feel like people might need a little more, I don't know, pick me up or something. Let's see if I can. So I got that little leg of color done. And now I have to do more of that green. And that makes it easier for me to count. So instead of counting and trying to find where to pick up that green down here, I would rather do these stitches, pick up this thread, and go exactly where I need to go, because statistically for me, counting on linen is not not accurate, not always accurate. It depends on what I'm stitching on. But this is, I believe this is 36 count. And I'm doing 2 threads over 2. So, yeah. It's a thing. So instead of weaving this thread in right now, I'm going to kind of anchor it around my handle over here. And then I'll pick this one back up. And do the stitches that I need to do. And then I'll weave them in after we're off the video. Whoops, just knocked the camera again. You guys are going to get so tired of that. I have a ton of Tula fabric, Gail. I haven't even cut into any of it. The squares bag, are you talking the one I showed where I sewed all the 2.5-inch squares together? Yeah, that was, I made that up. So made that up as I was going along. Is anybody, I mean, any quilters? I know, Debbie, you're working on Unity. I don't think my mom's doing Unity. This actually goes a lot faster when I'm upstairs watching TV. I think it's because I'm talking. I do too, Gail. I like Tula a lot. Oh, good. Glad I inspired you. I like Tula a lot. My friend Deb, who's in this chat, gave me some more Tula Pink stuff for Christmas. I bought her latest line the minute it came out. I bought a Fat Quarter Bundle. I have her, it's not called Day of the Dead, but it's that type of thing. And I know what I want to do with it, I just haven't done it yet. Because I was wanting to make a quilt that featured the fabric, and you can't cut it up into small pieces if you're going to use that fabric. So, yeah. But I haven't gotten there yet. I've been on a mission with whips, both in quilting and stitching. So that's what I'm doing. And I really shouldn't be stitching on this one right now because this is a large project. I should be stitching on some of my smaller ones to get them done before Mania, because that gives me more starts. However, it's just Mania. It's not like the end of the world, you know? I think I'm going to like Mania more this year than I did last year. Last year, I think it was stressful for me. And I think this year I might actually really... Oh, that's the wrong hole. Hold, please. I think this year it'll be more fun for me because I know It's just going to be fun, I think. It's still a brown hole, I think. It is. Let's see if I can fix this. More hole. Yep. Let's go over this one. Linen for me is like an exercise in patience, I think, sometimes. Because sometimes my eyes see it and sometimes they don't. And I will be honest, earlier I had my contacts in with readers over them, and I see a lot better when I do that. See, so that flower's almost done. I had red thread here, left me yesterday. I wonder if I still have it, because I could just soon put the center in on that flower. Let's see, how long have we been on? I can't tell. Oh, 41 minutes. Holy cow, that time flew, didn't it? Time flew. Alright, so instead of continuing on this, I'm going to take you to the other thing, because there's another thing I want to show. Because we're going to end soon. Here we go. So let's get this out of the way. Move this over. Move this out of my eyesight. There we go. So I have made progress on the 4 Seasons chart by Little House Needleworks. I have been stitching it, sitting at my computer, like when I'm in, honestly, when I'm in call-in meetings, because my brain wanders so bad. And this helps me stay focused. But it's Little House Needleworks, 4 Seasons. It's the whip that I've been working on, trying to get this done. And I actually thought I would have it done by now, but I got distracted with my frame. So, Deb, I have one that my mom gave me that actually clips very nicely onto this scroll frame, and I do use that at night. But anyway, progress. So I have this section and the 4th section, and then one little urn of flowers over here. I don't know, I may switch over to that tonight, or I may knit. I did start a knitting project. I forgot to bring it down here again. But I don't know. Let's see what I feel like when I go upstairs. Maybe I'll sew for a little bit and then get back to stitching, because I have time. It's only 7:45. I don't know. But thank you guys for joining me. This was fun. I enjoyed it. It was a day today, I will say. Things are kind of nuts right now in the world, and right now it seems like it's not getting any better. It will. It will. It has to. It will. It will get better. We will all get back to some sort of normal, although I think the normal is going to look a little different than it looked before. But, you know, it is what it is. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. And I'll see you Saturday.